Oh hi, I'm Mustafa and this is my vlogging channel. Now today we're going to have a serious video vlog, video log. So I won't be making, like in my first video log, like I was making joke after joke. And I will not be making any mention, even though I've gotten request after request to mention someone's sweater, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to discuss the email I received from a certain person and try to answer in a serious manner without appearing completely whatever. This, by the way, is my huge glass of tea, which I drink all day. First of all, and I hope you don't mind if I like read things, because like I mentioned in my first vlog, I arrange my thoughts better if I have a written text in front of me, which is difficult in social situations, to be reading from a text. But anyway, it helps me, especially in front of the camera. So, first of all, you mentioned a miscommunication, or in the virtual world, how we miscommunicate. If you go back 4 years, this type of communication didn't exist. I mean, the most you could do 4 years ago was like go into a chat room. I've really never done that, but I had a friend who did that all the time once. And it was like, okay, you're just typing at one another. And that was the level of technology. But with this type of innovation, you can have people communicating across the world, globally, in a very, not intimate manner, but very in a manner that was unheard of 5 years ago. So, and especially when you are texting people, like sending messages by text, and especially with people with different languages, you're going to have miscommunication. So, regarding the particular matter of as you mentioned, it was the question of, and my mind has to start warming up here before I can even think. Oh yeah, your part 2 email. Okay, I think if I try to contextualize it, I think that I was referring, when I was talking about skilled liars, or what did I say? Skilled liars, mind games, My point, I think, originally was, or the point I was trying to make, was that I don't care what people tell me about themselves. I couldn't, I mean, I thought you were, forgive me for saying this, because it sounds weird. I mean, if you had said something like, oh, I'm a prostitute and I work in a brothel, I would say, oh, okay, that's interesting. Maybe not the best job for a Muslim, and I would advise you not to do it, but it's not going to, like, oh, shock me. I've lived in Southern California my whole life, so, I mean, you kind of have to experience a very liberal culture, and we are bombarded with all kinds of information. Better turn on my little timer. So nothing escapes us. So my point was, I don't care what people tell me about themselves. My most important thing is having some semblance of honesty, which I believe you do, of course. And I made the point, not the point, but the example of people I know in my family who are really, really bald-faced liars, and they have a tendency to lie for no reason. I mean, for no apparent advantage. It's just like they're habitual liars, and it's something that is difficult to understand, and especially when you're dealing with people online, you don't know who you're dealing with. I made a few jokes about that, but it's true. I mean, who do you really know who you're dealing with? The good thing about this type of communication as far as like video is that you do get to see a person in a more real setting or sense. You can have a better sense of who they are. So I think that was the point I was trying to make. I was not even thinking about you personally when I said that. And I wasn't like thinking, oh, you know, you're lying or you're going to lie or something like that. It never occurred to me. And maybe if you go back and read what I wrote in the context that I'm putting into it, it would make more sense, or you could understand where I'm coming from. So I apologize for that miscommunication. And again, it's text, people typing at one another is open to having a lot of, and we all do it all day long. If you're going to be on any kind of a site like YouTube or whatever, or chat rooms, you're going to have people misunderstanding one another because the written word is very complex. So I think I covered that. As far as your part 2 information, I mean, you're building this up to such a degree that, you know, I'm thinking, wow, you know, what's she got to tell me? And it's like, well, I work for my uncle and he's my boss, you know. Okay, well, I really don't see where that should be something that, I know I understand completely where you're coming from. You are in your early 30s, you're not married, you're living at your uncle's house, and you're working for him, okay? I mean, I really don't see that as being something pathetic, not at all. I mean, again, the social context that I come from, you know, a lot of people are like, you know, meth addicts or they're drug addicts or they're drunkards, and yeah, they come back home when they're 35 or 40 or 45 after their third or fourth divorce, you know, and you can say, well, yeah, they really screwed their life up. I have my sister, one of my sisters has a friend who I've known myself for 30 years, and her son is what, 30? No, her son's probably like 40. And he was like this very conservative person, hardworking, and somehow he got into a life of, it became like a meth addict, a drug addict, and his marriage fell apart. He's back living at home like in a trailer, and just barely out of jail. And this is like a conservative person who just got into a weird, with the wrong people, you know, and that's very common in my culture. So living at home, working for your family member and living at their house is not, I don't see any problem with that at all. I mean, it's I don't see where a person, where, I mean, you certainly shouldn't feel like something's wrong with that.